What is up, Wretched Nation? Today we are headed to the Harley shop, but this time we're not going to spend money, we're going to collect money. Not really, he's already paid us. But a buddy of mine is a salesman out there, and last time I was up there, I went up there with a friend of mine, just riding, and he wanted a hat. He went ahead and paid me for it, and just told me to bring the hat whenever I get up there. And I was working on this bike, getting it put back together for the stage 1. So I was going to wait until I could get this done, then put the hat in the bag and bring it up there. Well, today's the day. So we're going to ride up there and drop off the hat and hang out with him for a little bit. It's going to be mostly a quick trip. As always, I've got a lot to do, but it shouldn't take more than a couple hours to get this done. I'll be back in town in time for stuff that I got going on, so that's not bad at all. But we gotta go, as always, fill up with gas, and we'll hit the road. I don't know how well you can hear the exhaust on this bike, but we did a full stage 1 as cheap as possible, not as cheap quality, but just as frugal as possible. I'll put a card up here and a link down in the description to the video where we did everything. It was a 2-part process, but in short, we took the stock head pipe off, took it to a buddy shop that's been doing it for years. You basically cut the rear section off, punch the cat out, and weld it back together. That's the steel portion of the exhaust. Everything else is stainless except for where the cat is. And he's got a small bike shop, he can do that easy. Now I wanted to take it a step further, cap off the left side, and go full stage 2-in-1. And this stock Harley pipe is actually really good for that. It's got a really big collector because of where the cat is supposed to be, and it pulls the exhaust really good. You're still getting a decent amount of torque because of the long pipe, but because of the big collector size and where the 2 pipes merge, it breathes up top once you can get that catalytic converter out. So I took it to another shop, capped off the left side, because they can weld stainless. I think he actually just brazed it in. It didn't matter what it looked like because everything's covered up. I told him that to begin with. If, he had to make it show quality, then he would have had to spend a little bit more time and actually take it. Probably would have cost a little more money, but it's literally under the bike. You cannot see it. So I didn't have a problem with that at all. Now, after putting that full exhaust on, we went with a Fuel Moto air cleaner. I think it's called the Stealth air cleaner. It comes with a factory cover, just to cover it for the filter. But it actually has an adapter plate for the touring models, where it's just a little rubber adapter that goes on top of on the front of the air cleaner, and then you can put your stock Harley Davidson cover over it to make it look factory. I don't really care about making it look factory, but since it covers most of the filter part, if I take a long trip or go somewhere, over a couple days, I might throw it on there to help with rainstorms. It'll help keep some of the water out of the air filament. So I might do that. And then we topped it off with a Power Vision tuner from Fuel Moto. It had a base map for it. We'll put that on the bike. We just done the base map. I went to swap over my phone mount from the Dyna to this to hook up the Power Vision and do an auto tune session today. And I already know it was cracked, but it broke in half because I was loosening everything up. I've had it for years, and it was just a cheap phone mount. The Power Vision fit in it, but now I'm going to have to order something else. I don't want to just run the power vision in the bag because I can't see where I'm at and what cells I'm populated and all that. It's like I'm kind of running blind, and I don't want to risk trying to rig it and it fall off the bike and I throw my $400 tuner down the highway. I don't want to do that. So today we're just going to outride, kind of get some enjoyment out of this stage one. I rode it last night just in the town. I didn't really take it on the highway, but I definitely got into it, and it's got a lot more power. I won't even say a lot more power, but in the factory trim, you can tell this bike is all about torque. And once you get into the higher rev range, it just falls on its face. It just doesn't pull anymore. The power is just not there up top. It's not breathing. And with the full stage one, you can tell you still have your torque, but it pulls all the way to red line. So even if, I don't know the power numbers, but even if I didn't really gain that much more power, I gained more usability throughout the RPM range. I would assume our speed limiter is taken out. I think the factory speed limiter is like 110 or something like that. I haven't gotten this bike that fast after the tune, but we're gonna head up here, get some gas, and hit the highway. Alright guys, I didn't really film at the gas station. There was a guy playing super loud music, and it wasn't even the problem that the music was super loud, but I guess he was maybe playing Bluetooth from his phone and he didn't have great service, so it was cutting in and out like crazy. That always irritates me, like when you can't hear something or the connectivity's not that good and it just keeps cutting in and out. Like, I'd rather just sit in silence than deal with that. So we're filled up. We're gonna run to the Harley shop and see what this thing can do on the highway. But just roll the montage till we get there. spoke to my friend for a little while, had a decent time, got something to drink. Now we're going to head on home and enjoy this beautiful day. What's the temperature? We're at 65 today. It is, I think, December 13th. I can't ask for better weather this close to Christmas. It is almost on the warm side. I got a long sleeve and a hoodie on, and I could probably deal with just one of those. I don't need both layers. But it's a beautiful, beautiful day. I do not mind at all wasting about, I wouldn't even call it wasting, but I would not mind at all using half a tank to go drop a hat off. I am perfectly fine with that. It is beautiful out today. But I'm enjoying this stage one. I'm gonna be a little bit more excited once I can get that auto tune in and maybe dial it in a little bit better. Maybe get a little bit more power out of it. But so far, I'm really happy with it. It sounds amazing. I don't know how much you can pick up on the camera here, but it sounds great. So let's get home and get back to working on some other stuff. Ever since I started this new position at work and I got normal hours, I feel like I have 10 times the less amount of time available than I did before. But having weekends off is definitely a good trade. Alright guys, we're back in town. It didn't take me too long to get all that done. We dropped off the hat, had a good little ride. We're nearing 12,000 miles, we're at 11,600. We had a good ride. I'm very pleased and happy with the stage 1 upgrade. I'm not going to say it's faster than my Dyna. I've got a 2010 Dyna with the 96-inch motor, and this is a 2018 with the 107. They're both stage 1, both 2-in-1, same tuner. The Dyna's got a little bit bigger air cleaner, but very similar builds. I'm not going to say that this is faster, because I don't think it is, but mainly that's contributed to the chain kit I have on a Dyna and the bigger sprockets I'm running, because I'm not really planning on taking that on any trips. Not that I can't, but with this bike, if I'm going to take a trip, I'd rather take this bike. It's got storage and everything else. The years of taking the Dyna states away is probably gone, unless there's a specific reason. But I'm not going to say this is faster, but it's definitely a whole lot more fun than it was before. Definitely faster than it was before, but probably not faster than my Dyna, even though it makes more power. But if you have not done a stage 1 on your bike, I definitely recommend it. I can definitely tell this bike wants cams. It breathes a lot better now, but I can still tell like that push isn't quite there, and it's wanting more power. But we're not going to worry about much more power right now. We probably need to dive in, make sure it's more reliable. These engines are a little bit more prone to issues because they're pushed a little bit harder than the twin cams are. So I would like to do a vented oil cap just to help on keeping the pressure down in the crankcase, to help any sumping issues or just keeping the stress off the motor. And more than likely, I just did an oil change, a full 3-hole oil change on this bike. More than likely, just because of oil transfer and oil sumping, I'm probably just going to change all 3 every 5,000 miles instead of doing the engine every 5 and then the trans and primary every 10, because the trans and primary is literally just 1 quart a piece, and $10 a quart roughly is, let's say $20 all in extra every 5,000 miles isn't a big deal. So probably gonna stick to that, but need to order a mount so we can do this power vision like I need to, and do the auto tune. Might clear up a little bit and drive a little bit better. I did notice the very first time I drove it after the tune, maybe because I hadn't ridden it in a while, but I felt like the throttle by wire was just a little lagging off the start compared to what it was before. But I feel like now that I've put, over 100 miles on it, done a little bit of riding, I don't know if the ECU just adapted to it, or maybe I've just adapted to it, but that little delay that I almost felt like I was feeling before is gone. So it's either me or the ECU's corrected that out. It could be either one, I don't know. But I'm thoroughly happy with the stage on the kit. Definitely comment below if you have any questions regarding what I did to the exhaust. There'll be a link to the other videos for what I have done. But if you have any questions, definitely comment down below. Like the video and subscribe if you're not subscribed. I definitely like to grow this channel a little bit if I can, and bring more content for you guys. But as always, keep it wretched.